Hey y'all, what's going on? Pavel with DIT Media here, and today we're going to be talking about JOBY Gorillapods and whether they are worth your hard-earned money. Having a tripod is really important in photo and video production because simply you just can't achieve a particular shot, or a stable shot for that matter, without one. But tripods can also be clunky, heavy, expensive, and they're also kind of a pain in the ass to travel with. So what are the available alternatives? Well, carbon fiber tripods have been getting really popular lately, and they're really light and portable. However, they're also really expensive. I mean, they can cost you anywhere from $300 to 600 and more. So today I want to talk to you about JOBY Gorillapods. These kind of have been getting a lot popular lately, especially with vloggers such as Casey Neistat. I mean, he uses it all the freaking time when he skates on his, board through New York City. Peter McKinnon uses it. Tons of other vloggers use it simply because of its convenience and portability. But are they worth the money though? So also, just a disclaimer from the start, JOBY does not support this video, nor did they pay me any money. All of the equipment that is mentioned I paid for with my own cash, so nothing is being sponsored, and I'm just gonna give you my own honest opinion about these things as I've used them over the years, and at the end of the day, let you decide whether it is a right investment for you. So let's start off with kind of a pros and as well as what the heck is this thing actually is and who is it for. So JOBY has been making these tripods for the past several years. They're really portable. They have several models. I'm gonna show you some of them, but not all of them. They have a ton of other devices that they make kind of in the same realm. And basically, they're really designed for those people who kind of travel a lot, who walk a lot, who go to different places a lot, and they really don't want to carry this big clunky tripod with them. So obviously the legs of this particular tripod, they can bend, they can be basically placed in any kind of position that you want. I mean, you can set it on a tabletop, you can, put it near, basically clamp it to a tree, clamp it to a sign, clamp it basically wherever, because the legs are so kind of malleable that you can literally bend them in any shape imaginable. So from a convenience standpoint, this is actually a great device. But what about its durability and longevity? So I have been using this device for the past year, and as you see here, I have it clamped to my A7S. I also have, pretty decently sized zoom lens on it. I also have a battery grip on it. So the total setup weighs about, I want to say about 3 pounds, and then you put all of this on a tripod. Can it handle it? Yes, it can. I also like having my camera as this setup just because I'm not the biggest fan of neck straps, and this is just simply how I like carrying it. I just grab it and walk around with it. You kind of have to be a little bit careful because, you walk around, you don't want your camera bumping into things and crashing it into stuff, so just pay attention to that. But I'm usually pretty good at that, so I just use this setup. It's also nice having it like this because I always have my camera ready to go. Basically, I can set it up anywhere if I want a big shot and I don't want to be there, or I want to be in the shot. I can clamp it to something, I can put it somewhere. It really is a very convenient device. So this device is also convenient because it has a detachable ball head, so you can actually use this knob here and you can basically, move your camera however you like. There's a tiny little notch so you can actually have it this way if you want to still shoot horizontally when it's kind of clamped sideways and things of that nature. So this JOBY Gorillapod also has a detachable ball head that you can use. You can actually detach it and you can basically put it on another tripod or even on a light stand. One time I was actually kind of stranded in a position where we didn't have a tripod, but I had this thing, so I just detached the ball head and put it on a light stand and used that to balance the camera because we were shooting an interview. Disclaimer: I would not by any means advertise doing that because honestly it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But at the end of the day, I had the device, I used it, and I got the job done. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You can also at the end of the day, the legs kind of bend and you can, walk around like this vlogging with it, which ton of people do, by the way. So from a standpoint of portability and convenience, a pretty great device. So as I said before, JOBY also makes tons of other tripods. They have a baby little one that I use for my tiny little Zoom H1 recorder, and I've actually used it at an event recently where the speakers were mic'd, but I wanted to get an audience response, and there was just nothing else available for me to use, so I just literally mounted an H1 Zoom, which is a tiny little thing, on it, and put it right in front of the audience on a pedestal, and it was sitting there recording recording the whole thing, and it got the job done. I also use another one of these tripods right here to basically hold the monitor, which is what I use to like frame myself and do all of this thing. Right here it sits, my Ninja Blade is sitting right there on the same kind of setup. So it's nice because you can literally adapt any environment to your shooting style, and you can work kind of out a compromise where if you are in the conditions where nothing is available or the environment is not the best for shooting, placement wise, you can basically stick the camera somewhere or basically anywhere and still get the shot. So now let's talk about the cons. I've done some research on YouTube and on the internet in general just to see what people think about these devices, and I found that the main complaint that people have is the fact that this device does not really hold up over time. So basically when you start clamping the legs, the legs can come off and snap off and things of that nature, which is not good. However, I have to say, at the end of the day, all things break, and it all depends on your usage. So in this particular case, when you're buying a device like this that you aggressively use and bend and all that kind of stuff for like a year or so, and you're paying only about $60, I mean, to me, that is not a problem if it breaks. Besides, this thing has a warranty of 1 year. You can send it in. They will send you a new one. I didn't have to do that because I'm not the most aggressive user of this tripod, but I use it pretty much every day. And in my use, I do have a problem. I mean, the legs did get a little bit looser over time, which, I mean, that's just what happens. One leg I have, sometimes it snaps off and stuff, but not during the crucial moments. It only happens when I really bend the thing, what makes it snap, because otherwise, if it didn't snap, it would actually break the joints, and then the tripod would be completely useless. So on the one hand, it is kind of annoying and it can be a problem, and some people don't agree with it. For me, it's not really an issue. I can deal with it, so for me, it's not a problem. The other thing that I have to mention is this is not like a professional video or photo tripod. I mean, at the end of the day, the price of this thing is like $60. Average video photo tripod, a good one would cost you about $250, $300, $400. So obviously, I'm not holding this thing up to the same standards as I would something like a Benro or a Manfrotto professional grade tripod. I mean, those things I expect to last for years because I'm paying a lot of money for it. This thing, considering that it's, again, a Gorilla tripod, so I'm using it in the worst possible probably conditions. If it lasts me for a year, that's fine with me. Other people have different opinions on that. The other thing that I must say is, again, because it is not a professional photo or video tripod and I'm not holding it to the same standards, I wouldn't put like a Canon X1D Mark II with a 70-200mm lens and put a mic on it, put a light on it, and all of this heavy stuff that makes it basically a 10-pound setup. Obviously, I'm not gonna expect that this, tiny little thing will hold it. Honestly, like, I use it with my Sony a7S with a battery grip and with usually a 50mm lens or this particular zoom lens that doesn't weigh much. And for this would basically be my maximum load capacity on this tripod. I would not be trying to put something like, God forbid, Sony FS5 or Canon C100 or even heavier forms of DSLR on it, because I would simply not trust it to hold my camera. And especially if I need to clamp it to something like a railing on the bridge, where if this thing snaps, my camera goes bye-bye, yeah, I don't want to risk it. So I'm not going to even try to clamp something this heavy onto the thing like this. So my general thoughts about the device, again, as I said, I don't treat it as a piece of professional gear. I don't treat it as a professional tripod for photo or video production. I treat it more of a supplemental and convenience tool. So if I'm on a shoot and suddenly a client asks me, hey, can you get the shot? And I didn't prep for that, but I have this thing, I can try to get it done. But I wouldn't expect to walk into a place and use this as my main device. I also use it as a convenience tool because I carry it with me every day. It's not heavy, I can throw it in my backpack, it just lives there, and if I need it, I just pull it out. So at the end of the day, I think you really have to consider the price to expectations ratio. So obviously, for $60, $70, I'm not gonna have much of expectations. Does it do the job of basically being, kind of my to-go-to tool if I need it, when I have all of my professional stuff set up, and if somebody wants something extra, will I use this? Yes. Will I be using it as a professional tool? No. Will I be expecting this thing to handle like a broadcast camera on it? Hell no, absolutely not. Would I expect it to handle something like a point and shoot, Sony a5100, Sony a7S? Yes, absolutely. A GoPro? Absolutely, not a problem. So I really think that when it comes to the price and expectations, you really kind of have to balance those two. And if you do, I think that you'll find that this device will fit those needs. And then again, as I said before many times, all of these things are just tools. At the end of the day, what matters is an idea. You have an idea, go get it done. Do I think that somebody in the very beginning could benefit from having this device? Yeah, in many ways, because when you were, just starting out, have money for an expensive tripod, you're all over the place as far as locations are concerned, you don't know what kind of environment you'll be walking in. I think that this thing can, for the most part, get the job done. And also, most importantly, it can also act as a stabilizer, because if you just hold the camera like this, it will not be as stable as if you hold the camera like this and you can prop it onto something and you can get the shot done. So at the end of the day, I think for beginners, great tool. For professionals, a great supplemental tool. But you have to keep in mind that if, you use it a lot and you bend it a lot, at the end of the day, the thing will break. It's just how long will it take it to break depends on how aggressively you use this particular product. So I hope that this video kind of gives you a fair idea of what Joby tripods can do, and most importantly, what they cannot do, and what expectations should you have, and what expectations should you not have. Do you use a Joby Gorilla tripod? If you do, please leave those comments in the comment section down below. Tell me what you like about it, what you don't like about it, how long did it last for you, what applications do you use it for? What cameras you put on it? Leave all of those comments in the comment section below. I'm really interested in what you have to say about this. Thank you all for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel and let me know what you want me to make a video about next time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all Tuesday.